Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. From now through May 6th, if you use that promo code, you will automatically be entered into a drawing to win a War of the Spark booster box. See the description below for details. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. It is War of the Spark release weekend, and there are some huge impacts on prices due to the release of the new cards. And I'm not just talking about Standard either. Modern has a new deck based around one of the cards that is making a big splash right now. Of course, there's influence in formats like Commander. We're going to talk all about that as we go throughout today's video, checking in on all aspects of the secondary market. But without any further ado, let's get into it. We're going to begin, as we always do, with the top 5 standard legal cards that have lost value this week. Just a quick reminder, we're not going to talk about War of the Spark cards individually today, since we did a companion video on those a couple days ago. So I will link that at the end in case you missed it, but today we're going to talk about everything else that's in standard. Number 5 is Banefire from Magic 2019. This one goes down 42 cents to 208. For the most part, the cards that are losing value this week are cards that maybe had their day in standard, but at least at this point, as we're moving into that first weekend, don't feel like they're going to play huge roles. I don't think Banefire is going to go away necessarily, especially with all the control decks around. I'm sure it still will have a home, even if it is just in sideboards, but it does lose some value this week. Number 4 is Sulphur Falls, going down 50 cents to $5.10. This card was pretty hot last season. There were a lot of decks that needed this color combination. Again, I don't think it's going to go away or anything like that, but it has a soft week. Number 3, Elenda the Dusk Rose, down 60 cents to $11.99. This card never felt like it got out of the gate. There was a little more hope for it when a new set was coming out, but again, it just doesn't feel like it's going to pan out. The 1 toughness on a 4 casting cost card is just really hard to sell in a format that has things like Goblin Chain Whirler out there. Number 2 is Mox Amber. This goes down 68 cents to $17.21. Now, this card got hot while we were approaching the previews of War of the Spark, because a lot of folks thought, well, maybe there'll be some cheap planeswalkers that could make this more viable. At this point, nothing has really caught people's eye when it comes to standard or anything very competitive. Again, it's still very early. We'll have to see what happens over the next few weeks, but this does soften up a little bit. I would expect it to come down more too, unless something happens to change that. Number 1, the Immortal Sun, goes down 79 cents to $27.87. This card got super hot again when we were talking about all the previews for War of the Spark, just because people got really nervous about the Planeswalkers. This is a card that has seen standard play, not necessarily in large quantities, but it always has been kicking around. I don't think that's going to change, especially with more Planeswalkers out there, but I also think $27.87 just feels like a really high price point for this card. I would expect it to come down more, even if it does see some standard play. Okay, let's move on to the top 5 standard legal cards that have gained value this week. I'm actually going to throw 3 honorable mentions on here too, because there are a lot of shock lands moving. I just wanted to point some of those out. Our first honorable mention is Jace Cunning Castaway, up 40 cents to $4.46. This is a card that has been kicking around here or there, but never really took off in standard. There is more hope for it now, though, because of its interaction with Nicol Bolas Dragon God. Remember, when Nicol Bolas takes Jace's ability to copy himself because of kind of a weird rules interaction, the copies will actually be of Nicol Bolas Dragon God, not of Jace Cunning Castaway. So remember that. It's not something that is very apparent when you read the cards themselves, but that's the way it works. The next honorable mention is a shock land, and you're going to see a bunch of these on the list, like I mentioned. Not too surprising as we're moving in between standard formats, and we'll have to see what happens this weekend with decks. This could change a little bit, of course, but at least right now people are building new decks. They're trying to build new mana bases too. Blood Crypt from Dissension goes up 45 cents to $22.74 this week. Here's another in the last honorable mention. This is Steam Vents going up 46 cents to $13.47, the one from Return to Ravnica. Number 5 is Hallowed Fountain from Dissension, another shockland, going up 47 cents to $20.53. Number 4, surprise, surprise, it is Watery Grave, another shockland. Gate Crash goes up 67 cents to $13.25. Guilds of Ravnica goes up 79 cents to $13.05. Number 3 is Expansion Explosion, up 85 cents to $4.29. This card has been really a strong standard card ever since it did premiere. Many players are thinking, though, this could get better now in standard thanks to Rawl Storm Conduit being in the format, too. Not to mention that Expansion Explosion showed up in the Game Nights episode yesterday, which also could have given it a little more momentum. Number 2 is Crucible of Worlds for Magic 2019, up $1.16 to $17.92. Partially, this is moving because this card has been a little undervalued. It's catching up with its other variations. Those are running a little closer to $20. This does see a little modern or legacy play. It's a great casual card too. There is also some potential too for it to see a little more standard play. Perhaps some of these cards that interact with lands could play well with it. Things like Living Twister, Evolution Sage. You also have things like Nissa Who Shakes the World, Nissa's Triumph. And you have a new land that could be pretty good too, Mobilized District. Number 1, Nicol Bolas the Ravager goes up $3.50 to $24.72. This card has not only been hot this week, but it's also been hot in the last few hours. So keep an eye on this one. By the time the video posts, it actually might be a little bit higher. And this all has to do with the fact that Grixis just gets better now in Standard, especially with cards like Nicol Bolas Dragon God out there. I do think we're going to see some mid-range and or control Grixis decks doing well, maybe even as soon as this weekend. And it is important to remember that this card does see occasional modern play too. Alright, speaking of modern, let's go on to the top 5 modern legal cards that have lost value this week. A lot of modern cards have been hot recently. Some of those cards that have spiked aggressively are retracting a little bit. They're normalizing, that's what you're going to see here. Number 5 is a perfect example of that. Chalice of the Void down $3.19 to $65. You're going to find this in 4-color Prism builds, a number of different Eldrazi builds out there. It's in the sideboard of a lot of decks too. And even though it is restricted in Vintage, it sees some Vintage play as well. This card was soft for a little bit because of its reprinting in Masters 25, but recently it took off and now we're seeing a little bit of normalization. Number 4, Blightsteel Colossus goes down $4.20 to $70. This card was hot recently due to the fact that the colorless commander decks were getting a little bit of a push. A lot of people were playing them. There's a lot of chatter about them in different podcasts and videos. But this card can surprise your opponent with one of the new cards, Zilharg the Razeboar. So that also brought some more attention to it in recent weeks. Now, like so many of these other cards, it does have another retraction week. Number 3 is Verdant Catacombs. This is the one from Zendikar going down $4.59 to $73.51. We've been talking about it for a number of weeks now. Just generally, the fetch lands have been extremely hot, not just the enemy ones, also the allied ones. But some had super aggressive spikes like this one, so you are seeing the normalization here. Number 2, Sliver Legion down $6.05 to $59.01. Sliver Lords got really hot recently too. This one jumped quite a bit. Continues to normalize this week. 5th verse, same as the first, yeah, more normalization. Jace the Mind Sculptor from Worldwake goes down $11.57 to $135.99. All of these Jaces are going down after recent high spikes due to the amount of play that they do see in various formats. This original one is moving down the most though because it climbed the most. Now for the top 5 modern legal cards that have gained value this week, and I do have one honorable mention. Chancellor of the Tangle goes up $5.33 to $5.99. So you might be wondering, why is Chancellor of the Tangle going up this much? It's a huge percentage increase, right? Well, it's because of one of the new cards, Neoform. Now, there's a deck called Neobrand out there that is really doing well right now in Magic Online. And it has all the potential in the world. I know we always talk about these hot decks of the month, all these decks kind of come and go, but this one feels like it could be the real deal. Basically, you're going to take some of the other cards we're going to see in the video today, along with Neoform, and work your way towards a very quick Grizzlebrand. It is possible, if you get all the combo pieces together, to win in one turn with this deck. A lot of people are paying attention to it. There are a number of cards from that deck that are going up in price this week. Now, some of them didn't make the video because they weren't moving quite enough, but we'll talk about some others as we go on. Number 5, Veilstone Amulet goes up $6.77 to $7.93. Now, this one is not spiking because of Neoform, but it is spiking because of another new card from War of the Spark, and you know her, you love her. Of course, it's Feather the Redeemed. We talk about her every week, it seems. This card sparked the interest of many Commander players, and as they try to build decks around her, a lot of different cards have been spiking. We'll see more as we continue through the video. How about right now? Number 4 is Balefire Liege from Plane Chase. This goes up $7.20 this week to $26.74, another feather card. Number 3, Mycosynth Lattice. Battlebond goes up $2.75 to $33.38. Darksteel up $8.36 to $36.02. This card got very hot a few weeks back when we found out about Karn the Great Creator. Obviously, this feels like a very strong interaction in Commander. However, it did soften up over the last few weeks, and that was because people were a little concerned that because of the way the rules are from the Rules Committee for Commander, that maybe Karn the Great Creator just wouldn't be legal because of that -2 where you search outside the game for a card. Since then, though, this past week, the Rules Committee did clarify that rule, saying that, yes, if an effect has you go outside of the game to search for a card, the technical rules from the Rules Committee are you wouldn't be able to do that. Two things, though. Card has other abilities, number one, so his interaction with Mycosynth is still fine. Secondly, they did clarify that the Commander Rules Committee rules are really meant to be just a starting point. So if you play with strangers you never played with before at a game store, everybody's kind of on the same page, but your play group can modify those rules. In other words, if they want to create sideboards for this type of effect, or they want to come up with other rules, then your play group can and should be encouraged to do so. That put a lot of people's minds at ease, and now, again, Mycosynth is back on the rise. Number 2, Allosaurus Rider, another card from that Neoform deck here. So this is a card that's going to lead right into Griselbrand with Neoform, and you can actually play this for free. So if you have 2 other green cards in your hand that you can exile, you just put this right into play Neoform then for a blue and a green, go ahead and search Griselbrand out of your deck, put him directly into play, and he even gets a +1/+1 counter. Pretty crazy, right? 3 copies here. Dual Decks Elves vs. Goblins goes up $13.40 to $14.99. Dual Decks Anthology goes up $14.97 to $16.98. Cold Snap goes up $15.67 to $17.68. Number 1 is Days Undoing, another card that is showing up in these Neo brand decks, and this one goes up $17.11 this week to $19.99. The early versions of the deck, I didn't see them running this card. However, over the last few days, as the deck is starting to get tweaked a little, this is showing up more. Vintage Spotlight time. We're going to talk about cards that are played in Vintage, Legacy, 93, 94. Also, cards that are just important to collectors. First, we have Copy Artifact from Unlimited. A lot of Unlimited cards continue to be hot. This one is on the reserve list, but did get a reprinting and revised. It goes up $10 to $110. Tropical Island from Revised goes up $10.45 to $308.05. We talked last week how these revised dual lands are getting hot, and yes, again, we are seeing a lot of movement. They all didn't make the list this week, but they are moving up. Shivan Dragon from Unlimited goes up $21.85 to $195. Wow, almost $200 now. Eureka, this is on the reserve list. It goes up $50 to $449.99. Gauntlet of Might, this is on the reserve list as well. This one is from Unlimited, though. Goes up $86.23 to $680.02. There are some high-grade copies in the marketplace this week, although the folks are asking a lot of money for these high-grade copies, more so than they will probably get for them. Perhaps they're just putting a number out there looking for an offer, but that has just pushed the price point a little bit this week. Mox Emerald from Unlimited, of course, on the reserve list as well, goes up $277.50 to $2,150. There is a high-grade graded copy of this card on the marketplace this week, which is pushing the price point. Chaos Orb, another Unlimited card on the reserve list, that goes up $399 to $1,549.99. Nothing too unusual here, just some high-grade cards out there this week. Time for the Commander Spotlight. We're going to talk about a lot of Commander cards that are moving in value. Because there are so many, I'm going to go kind of fast. I won't give you every little detail about the card, just the big highlights. Eldritch Evolution goes up $1.06 to $4.55. Okay. This maybe isn't moving because of Commander. This is another card for that Neoform deck, but it's also a cool Commander card, so I just put it on this list. Sheoldred Whispering One from New Phyrexia goes up $1.11 to $16.74. This card has been kind of quiet ever since the Iconic Masters reprinting until this week. The Command Zone podcast mentioned that this is a good card to play alongside Liliana Dreadhorde General, and of course that extra exposure did move the price a little bit. Recruiter of the Guard goes up $1.16 to $27.19. Now you can find this in Death and Taxes and Legacy, but this is also another good Commander card. You'll find this many times in Teysa builds. Exploration from Conspiracy goes up $1.18 to $29.92. Now you will find this in Legacy Lands builds and other places as well, but again, it's another decent Commander card, so I thought I'd throw it in there. Yidris Maelstrom Wielder. This goes up $1.21 to $7. You can only find this in foil. This has always been an awesome Commander card for folks that like to play with Cascade, but a couple of new cards have gotten more people to pay attention to it. One of those is Ilharg the Razeboar, which we saw earlier, and another one is Bolas' Citadel. Reese the Redeemed goes up $1.26 to $31.46. This is a rare from Shadowmoor. I'm going to do it, my one time per video. During this time period, sets had lower print runs compared to other modern era Magic sets, so they do tend to get a little bit spiky, including this one. Now, this has been known to show up in a modern elf deck occasionally, but this is more so a commander card. Another card from this time period of Magic, this time Morningtide, it's Idyllic Tutor. This card has been hot for a while now. For the most part, a lot of tutors have been hot. This one goes up $1.31 to $29.94. Demonic Tutor, speaking of tutors, this is the one from Revised, going up $1.31 this week to $31.34. Of course, this sees vintage play, but it's a great commander card too. Stolen Strategy goes up $1.35 to $3.98. This doesn't necessarily see a ton of commander play right now, but there are some new cards that got people more interested in it. Those include Neheb Dreadhorde Champion and Finale of Promise. There's not necessarily direct correlations with these cards, but there are new builds out there that are trying to make better use of the resources. Sword of Feast and Famine, this is the one from the Modern Event deck. It goes up $1.51 to $39.64. Now, this card has been popular for a while now. Ever since we saw Najila the Blade Blossom, a lot of folks have been trying to pick this up. This does see occasional legacy play as well, but it has become a very big commander card. Isochron Scepter, this is the one from Eternal Masters, another great commander card, goes up $1.68 to $9.44. This is a card some folks are playing in their Feather builds. Wayfarer's Bauble goes up $1.80 to $3.44. This is the one from Commander 2015, but actually all copies of the card are going up this week. This one's moving the most. It has become a Commander staple, so it's not too surprising. It also gets a lot of mentions in podcasts as well as articles and videos. Bartel Runax. I like to point out when these gold legends that are on the reserve list are going up in value. This one goes up $1.85 to $24.12 this week. Not necessarily an amazing commander card or anything, but if you'd like to collect these type of things, this is still affordable. Psychotic Fury, this goes up $1.89 to $2.49, and you probably guessed why already. Of course, this is another good card to play with Feather. Bloom Tender, another awesome commander card and another card from that time period of Magic we talked about, this time Eventide. It goes up $1.89 this week to $45. Scroll Rack from Tempest, another classic commander card, going up $2.03 to $54.98. The Scarab God goes up a little bit this week, $2.03 to $15.99. This has always been a great commander card, but War of the Spark is bringing more zombies into the format too, so it's got people looking at this again. Replenish. Enchantment strategies continue to be popular in Commander, and this is on the reserve list. It goes up $2.33 this week to $57. Cruel Tutor, another tutor. This one is from Portal and has yet to be reprinted. It goes up $2.40 to $43.99. Time Stretch from 10th edition goes up $2.56 to $19.12, another one that is moving because of cards from War of the Spark. And those include the aforementioned Rawlstorm Conduit, but also God Eternal Kefnet. Gwendolyn de Corsai, this is another one of those Gold Legends reserve list cards. It goes up $2.57 to $108.99. Magnetic Theft, another card for Feather, goes up $3.86 to $5.99. Land Tax, very popular commander card, has seen play in other formats of course too. 4th edition goes up $1.20 to $25.18. Battle Bond up $1.44 to $29.07. Battle Royale goes up $3.99 to $48.99. Transmute Artifact, this is on the reserve list, but it is a good commander card if you happen to have a copy. Goes up $4.56 to $161.45. Here's a Sliver Lord that is still popular, the original one, Sliver Queen. Now this is on the reserve list. It goes up $7.25 this week to $98.50. Concordant Crossroads from Legends goes up $8.99 to $126.99. Now maybe this is going up because it's an old Legends card, getting harder and harder to find all the time in good condition. But it is a great commander card and has seen more play recently because of the addition of a lot of strong green creatures over the last few months. Okay, let's move on to our Pauper Spotlight. First, we have Carrion Feeder from Eternal Masters. This goes up 12 cents to $1.25, and this does see play in those Golgari Aristocrats builds. And our last card is not Oubliette, it's Priest of Titania. This is from Urza Saga, and it goes up 20 cents to $4.19. You'll find this in Elves decks. Time for the Premium Spotlight, and I say this every week, but I don't love talking about these foil cards or promo cards because they tend to get really spiky, especially online. They can be easily manipulated. It's hard to find a lot of price data sometimes, but I try to pick one to point out to you, and here's this week's entry. It has to be a Neo brand card, right? This is Allosaurus Rider. Cold Snap pre-release promo goes up $13.20 to $16.25. And the Cold Snap foil goes up 1567 to 1768. Alright, that concludes our Market Watch for this week. Until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page, as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.